When will this real estate market change? That's a question so many people have been asking the last 2+ years now, since March of 2020. Everyone thought once the pandemic started that the market was going to tank and everything was just going to go to hell. But the pretty much complete opposite happened. Well, I guess you could say it went to hell in terms of there's no supply. I think you can kind of make that equation. But it didn't go to hell the way people thought it would. So welcome into the brand new episode of Real Estate Convos. This is my first episode without my dad, or second, I think. And I think it's going to be that way for the foreseeable future because I switched brokerages. He's got his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I'm busier than I was when I was doing this podcast with him. But now life moves on. We do different things. He's on vacation actually right now. And I kind of want to do this podcast at my convenience when I'm able to. And right now is the perfect time to do that. So this is going to be a quick episode. I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes. Just give you guys all the info about the market, when it will change potentially. I'm no expert. If I could predict the real estate market or the stock market, I would be a trillionaire. Like, if anyone could do that, they would have unlimited money. But no one can predict the stock market or the real estate market. I wish I could. That'd be amazing. But it's not possible. So I'm going to try to give you my best, the best opinion and facts that I possibly can to you guys. So you guys, the consumers who are looking to buy or sell real estate or rent real estate, have the best information at your disposal so you can make a sound decision. And I'm no expert on, lending or mortgages and home inspections, all this stuff. That's not what a realtor's job is. That's, you go to the home inspector, the mortgage broker, you go to the real estate attorney for certain questions. That's not my job. I can't legally talk about some of those things. So we're going to stick to the market. When will this market change? Like I said, it's been like this for 2+ years at this point, 25 months pretty much. And the market is starting to change actually, believe it or not. I got some notes here that I did earlier. But why did this particular market happen in the first place? Let's go over that first. So first we got COVID, obviously. The second thing we got is incredibly low interest rates. I'm sure you saw in the news the last two years how low interest rates were. They were doing low interest rates so the real estate market didn't tank, so more people could afford housing. So that's why real estate interest rates were so far down, like 2-3% on average, I think 2-3% on average, and now they started climbing. They've been fluctuating around the upper 4% and low 5% for the last month or so, and I think that's going to be more of the common theme. That's more normal. That's a lot more normal than 2% or 3%. So that's the second thing. Third thing is sellers kept listing and buyers kept buying. There's no inventory out there. Inventory is still incredibly low, and we're all hoping when's the inventory going to increase? Because I'm sure all of you that want to buy real estate are when can I have more options? When can I stop having to put in 50 offers before one gets accepted? I know what you're going through. It's very tough, very competitive, and you have to have the most perfect offer to get accepted in this current market. And it's frustrating for a lot of buyers, and that is starting to show signs that it might be changing to more normal. But it's not going to be here as soon as some of you may like it to be. One thing my company sends out every single week, every Wednesday to be exact, is a market report from the previous week. So Saturday to Saturday, so a 7-day period. So week 16 to week 17, which was Saturday 2 weeks ago almost. No, Saturday 9 days ago. No. Saturday 16 days ago to Saturday 9 days ago. So there's a report for that where, this is in Massachusetts in particular, homes listed increased by 77%. 77%, which is crazy. And the inventory increased by 22% in Massachusetts. So there's some signs there that the market, well, we're heading towards the summer market anyways, so summer markets are usually more active regardless. But still, that's a good sign. It's a good sign for the long term. But in New Hampshire, inventory decreased by 14%. So it's not in every single state where inventory increased that week. It's just Massachusetts where it went crazy. So we'll see where it lands in the next month or so, see where inventory is at. But for the time being, hopefully inventory starts going up a little bit more to normal levels. And one thing people always talk about, like on the news, if you're watching CNBC or a business news station, or you're talking to your friend or someone at the grocery store, they're like, oh, when are we gonna have a real estate crash? When's the housing market gonna crash? My CEO has made this very clear to us, the realtors in his brokerage, that there's probably not going to be an insane market crash in the next 4 or 5 years, unless something drastic happens in the United States. That's the only way it could happen. Real estate prices are not like the stock market, where they all fluctuate at the same time, like across the entire country, all 50 states just follow the same pattern. No, it's all different. Like I mentioned, Massachusetts had different numbers than New Hampshire in terms of inventory. It's the same across the country. Every state's going to be different. And there's different things that can affect real estate prices, such as like weather, like go to Louisiana, for example. There's been a lot of hurricanes down in Louisiana, and I'm sure that's affecting home values down there because less people may want to move down there. Don't quote me on that. I'm just guessing, but that's just an example. Less people may want to move to Louisiana, which is bringing down home prices because people don't want to live in a place where they get 4 hurricanes a year. So that might affect that local market. There's also bad events, like the Midwest, like tornadoes and stuff. Like I don't think I'd want to move to the Midwest when there's possibility for a tornado to take out my home. Like I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, which affects home prices. So there's different things that could happen. For example, like 9/11, when that happened, that affected home values. So there's so many different things that can happen. It all depends on what's going on in that local market. Or like I said, if something major happens in the United States, like a war, we enter a war or something, that's probably going to affect home prices across the country at the same time. But that's very rare. Hopefully that doesn't happen all at the same time. I think I mentioned this in a previous post on my TikTok or whatever, but 40% of homes that were listed in March went under contract within a week. That is absurd. So if you listed your home on a Monday in March, there's a 40% chance that it would be under contract before that next Monday comes around. That is just crazy. And that shows you that the market is still nuts. That was only 2 months ago, not even 2 months ago. That shows you that the market is still at that historically high level of demand and low supply. And a lot of people are kind of hesitant and afraid that, oh my God, interest rates are rising. They're like up above 5% right now. This is more normal. Like I said, it's more normal when it's up above 5% or around the 5% area. Hopefully it doesn't go up to like 10%. Like, again, I wish I could predict that. That would be awesome. But interest rates are affecting buyer demand right now. This is starting to, I should say. There's less buyers than there were 3 months ago because interest rates were still low on the low side 3 months ago. Now, May 2nd, interest rates have been hovering around 5%, so there's less buyer demand starting to happen. And that's going to affect the summer market. There's going to be more people trying to sell. There's going to be less buyers. So it's kind of just balancing out a tad bit, but not to normal levels, probably not even close to normal levels actually. But hopefully we get to a point where it's just completely normal at some point. The market just goes back to normal. Everyone would love that, especially us realtors and consumers who want to buy and sell or rent real estate. And one of the biggest mistakes people will make is waiting for the market to change. I know I've talked to a few people on the phone, potential leads who said, I'm not buying right now. I'm waiting for the market to change. It's like, well, the market doesn't change overnight. It's not going to change like the stock market, like I was talking about. It's not going to be like a week from now. A week from now, it's just going to be normal. Like there's going to be plenty of inventory for buyers. It's not like that. It's going to take months and years to get back to a more normal level, but it's not going to change as fast as people think. People have been saying that since like May of 2020. Oh, I'm not going to buy right now. I'm not going to buy right now. I'm going to wait for the market to slow down. Like, that hasn't happened in 2 years. So what makes you think it's going to happen in the next 3, 4, 5 months? So take that with a grain of salt, and just realize that you might be waiting for a long time before the market cools down and becomes more normal. Another thing is prices are still going up on home values, which is something else, because they've been increasing for a long time at this point, and it's getting old for a lot of people, and especially buyers. That also has effect on buyer demand. Some of them are like, oh, I can't afford this market right now. Like, this is too much for me. Like, the prices are crazy. Like, I was talking to this guy on the phone last week. He wants to move to this specific town in Massachusetts, and he lives out near Boston. And I kind of told him how much home values have increased, the median home price in this particular town. And it's gone up 89% from March 2021 to March 2022. And he's like, no, I can't do this right now. That's just too much for me. And that's the same feeling that so many people have. And it's like, yeah, I understand. Like, home prices are crazy right now. And so many people are waiving inspections, waiving appraisals, putting down cash payments and stuff, and just so they can get in the house because they need to move to that area because of their new job or their family's growing fast. Like, they have just no choice really. And home prices, we're hoping that those go down in the next year or two. I mean, who knows though? I wish I could predict it, like I said. But going back to March of this year, if you took out a mortgage for your home, you have on average, okay, let me say it this way. The average house with a mortgage had 55% equity in March. 55% equity in March. That is ridiculous. So if you bought your home in 2020, like right at the beginning of the pandemic, that means your equity has increased drastically since that time. So to wrap this all up, there's no crash on the horizon. From various people that have said that, don't take it from me, take it from all these other people who claim they're experts. But all the signs point to no crash. We'll just say that all signs point to no crash, again, unless something drastic happens in the United States. Then we might talk about a crash, but hopefully that doesn't happen, where there's something crazy that happens in the US. But there's been kind of rumblings about fall 2023 being the return to more normal real estate market. So I guess we'll see with due time what's going to happen. But we should start seeing it slowly creep back to more normal in the next 12 to 18 months. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a few months. We just got to be patient, wait for inventory, or kind of see when inventory starts going back up, and then see where the market evens out. So that's the end of this episode. I appreciate you tuning in. It means so much to me that you tuned into this episode. If you got value out of this episode, like this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel down below. Subscribe on Spotify, review it on Apple Podcasts, whatever platform you're listening to on, it would mean so much to me. Share this with a buddy, a family member, whoever could get value out of this episode, who wants to know what's going on with the market. Please, share this. And you can find all my links in the description down below. I'll have my TikTok, my Instagram, all my real estate pages, and my personal pages. We'll see if I'm doing that anymore. I have my website, my business email. So if you have any questions that you want to email, then feel free. If you have any real estate questions, I'd love to help. And if you're in Massachusetts and you have real estate needs, you've been looking for a realtor, then of course reach out by clicking on my email down below, and I'd love to chat and set up a time to meet. So thank you again for listening or watching. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you on the next episode.